Hi, Jenna.
Hello?
Hi.
Pernell?
Yes, can
Oh,
you hear me?
yeah, I can't see you though.
No, I don't have the best internet connection, so we can try with the picture, but usually it just worsens the sound quality.
Okay, do you want to just try with the picture? And if it doesn't work, we could just go.
Yeah.
Sure.
Do we have it here? Yes. Yes. Hello. Sorry with all the back and forth. Yeah, it's been a little bit busy time.
Oh, don't worry about it.
But it seems like an interesting paper you're due at your school.
Yeah. So we'll just get right
Yeah.
into it. So the Myanmar Journalism Institute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'll try my best to cover the questions. I worked with IMS for around 1 year now, and 8 of those months were here in Myanmar. So I haven't been with MJI from the very beginning. So I might lead you to some papers or some other people to cover some more specific details about MJI's beginning.
But for
Yeah.
media organizations in general, what do international media organizations need to take into account when they go into non-Western countries to develop and build media landscapes?
So one of the things we always do when we engage in new countries is to start up a lot of assessment work. So a lot of our work is very research informed. So that's one thing. We launched or we published a study in 2011 called Changes in the Air, which was right before we started engaging in Myanmar. Now we have a 3-year program that ends in a year's time, and now we're doing a new assessment on designing the new project or program. So we do quite a lot of assessments in the media field, and also in terms of the donor landscape, in terms of what are other people doing in Myanmar already, and where our strategic inputs useful to Myanmar. Then we work with local partners. We rarely do things on our own. We always do things via a local partner. And I think for the case of Myanmar, when we started working here in 2011, there wasn't really any local partners. There wasn't any journalist unions. There wasn't any journalist associations or networks. But we co-created them together with a group of people, and today there's like a huge network for journalists in the country, including Myanmar Journalism Institute.
But so in the Journalism Institute in particular, which actors were involved in developing that curriculum to help train the local journalists? And I know you
So
said
in the beginning, in the beginning it was all of the partners, I think. So IMS works together with a Swedish organization called Foyo Media Institute, and then Deutsche Welle, which is the equivalent of IMS, more or less, just from Germany. And then FHI 360, which is also a media development organization. So we were all kind of involved in like starting up MJI, building curriculum and those kind of things. But within the last almost 2 years, IMS applied for like an AVI, which is an Australian volunteer. They have in Australia, they have this volunteer program where you can apply for an experienced volunteer that can support your organization with something specifically. And in this case, it was training capacity and building curriculum. So Chris Pekin, I think you also met him via email maybe. He has been working with MJI for 2 years, trying to structure and strengthening their curriculum in a more, trying to enhance the curriculum and make it updated and make it more structured. And so that's been our most specific work with the curriculum. And if you have any specific questions to how the curriculum is built up, I'm sure Chris is most willing to elaborate on email.
Yeah. And so Was there any local actors involved in that curriculum building or in the institute itself? Like, what have you done to like keep the local participants included in the project?
So the first thing about starting MJI was about like getting a board, um, building up a management, and all of those people are from Myanmar, are local actors. So they are the one that have led the change to MJ where MJI is today. And I think IMS, FOYO, and Deutsche Welle have provided financial support, but then also advice. But of course, advice is always they can choose to use it or not. Um, so it is MJI itself, and their board members are all working in the journalism um, sector in Myanmar. So they do have quite a lot of experience already. Um, yeah.
So, who sits on the board that's not from international media support?
No, so I mean, in certain cases we are involved. Like now, they're trying to recruit a new executive director. In that case, we are involved. But other than that, it's run by local people here. I mean, it's the executive director. He was chief editor of one of the biggest newspapers in Myanmar. Then there's another chief editor on the board. And then there's a group of people that works within the media sector, either with a media paper or with a journalist association or network, something like that. So they are like the leading force of bringing MJI forward, and then we just kind of provide advice when it's needed.
And in the past, like a lot of international media organizations that have gone into countries and like done these sort of projects have been, I guess, accused sort of being like very interventionist, like just going in and then leaving the country with no skills or expertise. So what does IMS do to like avoid those past mistakes made by previous organizations?
So it's always quite difficult to have these donor funded projects and organizations, but that's primarily why we work with local partners. And when we build up these organizations, we always make a sustainability plan. We always tell them that we're not here for good. We know that our funding can go away overnight, and that they should have like at least a few more donors. We always encourage that, and then also like a sustainability plan on the long term. And we provide support in the sense that we can, but it's up to them to develop some kind of sustainable business plan that can make them sustainable in the future. But yeah, that's the going away. If we pull out all of our support now, I'm not sure MJI would survive that. So it's definitely one of our concerns. And MJI is still a very new and young organization, so it would also be fair to say that they still have some time to build up that sustainability capacity. And it's things that we discuss with them actually at the moment, because it is something that is definitely lacking. And I don't know in Canada, but at least in Denmark, we get the Journalism Institute in Denmark get a lot of support from the government. And so there's various business models that you can rely on. But of course, we encourage not to rely only on the donor
Yeah, for sure.
situation.
And we just noticed it's actually coming to the end of the 3 year strategic plan. So, what is the future for IMS's involvement with the Myanmar Institute, and what is the future of the institute itself?
So yeah, we're finishing this program now, and we're actually right now discussing how we should move forward with working with MJI. We haven't made any concrete plans yet, but I'm sure they will remain a good local partner. I think they have contributed to a lot of good success stories, and they are one of the best, or if not the best, place to study journalism in the country. And we would like to support that in the sense that we can. We don't know yet at the moment how or where or if we will get money from our donor, from Sweden and Denmark and Norway. So it all depends on a lot of things. And yeah, we always ask ourselves also whether we should keep supporting them in the way we do now. There's various ways to support something like MJI. It could also be via doing more training or teachers of training, or bringing in capacity from regional experts and stuff like that. And the media landscape itself has changed a lot in Myanmar the last year. So, I mean, there are also different priorities at the moment for IMS, I think, with all the journalists being jailed. And yeah, I'm sure you've heard a lot of things about Myanmar lately.
IMS dealing with that in Myanmar?
So we support local partners that deal with it. So we provide expert advice to partners that we are not very active in Myanmar on that sense, because it's a very sensitive issue, and all NGOs are being under attack right now in Myanmar. So they're trying to introduce an NGO law that would make it very hard for us to keep working in Myanmar. So, I mean, there's a lot of things that we're working on at the moment.
Well, that's all I had. So thank you so much.
Yeah, that's good. Let me know if you have any follow-up questions.
All right. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.